Welcome to the Collab Podcast. My name is Michelle.
And my name is Devin.
On this podcast, we explore concepts of self-mastery and community collaboration
through in-depth panel discussions and intimate interviews with dance's most prominent figures.
Yeah. See my peanut butter jelly snack, pull it ride, but she painting. That's my sunshine when it's raining. That's my boo, yeah. When I'm all alone, she pulled through.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Collab Podcast. I'm back today with my co-host, Michelle, and today's guest can be best described as strong and tenacious. Dancing consistently since the age of 15, Cierra Lauren has propelled her career into one that many aspire to follow. With 15K plus followers on Instagram, Cierra is a choreographer, self-proclaimed warrior, and simply put, a believer in all good things. Cierra was part of the winning adult team championship on NBC's World of Dance and has traveled around the world teaching masterclasses since the age of 20. And when she was 18, built her own hip-hop based studio in her hometown. Cierra has been a noteworthy leader in the global dance community and is now what many would call a heroine in the dance community. In August of this year, Cierra and another teammate publicly came forward with reports of abuse and assault.
Without intending to, the act of breaking their silence paved the way for many others to come forward and completely change the way we see our dance community. Provoking action and a movement to raise awareness, Cierra has started a nonprofit foundation called Speak Your Truth Worldwide. When not dancing or advocating to change the dance community, Cierra enjoys hiking, camping, or anything that brings her the opportunity to connect with, as she lovingly puts it, nature, earth, and the universe. When asked about her career highlights, Cierra noted that having opportunities to connect with so many different souls and energies around the world is her biggest heart-filled accomplishment. Cierra joins us today to share her primary dance goal of healing the dance community. Please welcome our very special guest today, Cierra Lauren. We are so honored and excited to have you.
Thank you guys for having me. Oh my gosh, just that intro, I'm like, dang, like that's so cool. Like I forget sometimes who I am. I'm like, oh, I've actually done some cool things.
Yes, you certainly have. And we're so excited to have the opportunity to talk with you about some of those amazing accomplishments.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, of course. I was blown away when I was doing the research, preparing for this episode, because I mean, you're not old at all. You're very young and you've accomplished so much in such a short period of time. So to me, that tells me that you're truly passionate about what you're doing. What fuels that passion? Where does that come from? Where does that warrior mentality come from?
You know, just right off the top of my head, I would just say my dad. When we were born, me and my brother, we actually were homeless for a while. And my dad started his own IT company when he was about 20 years old. And I would say probably in like 1997 to 1999, somewhere around that time frame. My dad was actually the first one to ever successfully create what we now call the cloud. So my family really has started from nothing. My parents, they actually divorced when I was 4 years old. So I actually grew up in two households growing up. Like I said, my dad was fairly well off because of the company that he had started. And then my mom, not really so much. My mom struggled a lot. My mom grew up in low-income housing. We didn't really have that much in her household. So I kind of feel like me and my brother, we got the best of both worlds. We grew up knowing what it was like to struggle. Bad. struggling bad as a single mom. And then on the other hand, we also got to see what it was like to hustle, work hard, and what it looked like, when you did do that, the things that you got from it. So I like to say that I kind of grew up in the best of both worlds. So I would say that my drive and my passion really comes from how I was raised.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to go back because, you've accomplished so many things in your dance career as of recently, but when did it all start? I know you've been dancing since the age of 15. What was your first dance experience or dance exposure like?
My first dance exposure. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I know we've heard a lot of stories about people going to, their first dance show and being really inspired, or walking by a dance studio. What was the turning point in your life that you said, hey, I want to try that?
So it's interesting. My mom actually put me in my first tap class when I was like 5 years old. So I actually started tapping. I have pictures too of like me in this like little yellow outfit and like this little umbrella and my tap shoes, blonde hair, big blue eyes, just cutest little thing. And I would say I danced for like maybe a year and then I hated it. And then I was like, I'm going to be a golfer. I want to golf, and then I'm going to play volleyball, and then I'm going to do track. And then I'm going to, I tried all these things growing up, and I didn't hop back into dance until I was like 12, 13 years old. But when I did, it was in a hip hop class. And from that point forward, my first hip hop class, I was like, I'm doing this. Like, this is exactly what I want to look like. This is exactly what I want to be. This is so fun. Like, it's so fun. Like, it just looks so fun. And I had such a good time when I was doing it. I was like, this is awesome. And then I want to say maybe like six months to a year of me doing hip hop dance here in the small town I was raised in. Then my teacher at the time took me to my first Monsters of Hip Hop Dance convention. And I think I was 14 or 15 years old. And it was in Portland, Oregon. And my first class was with Nappy Tabs. And then my second class was with Pop and Pete. And then my third class was with Brian Friedman. And then my fourth class was with Dave Scott. And then I think the one that sold me was the very last class of that weekend, and it was with Mr. Wiggles. And I was so fascinated by the way that man danced. I was just like in complete awe. And I loved the feeling of like, popping and like all these, just isolations. And at the time, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? Like, I just think it looks cool. And I'm like, this is freaking cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, after that weekend, my first Monsters of Hip Hop Dance was when I knew that I wanted to do it professionally. And I was like, this is it. Like, I'm going to keep going to the Monsters. I did. Like, I went every single year, every time they came into town. And then eventually I got accepted into an arts high school. And here in Tacoma, Washington. And I think at that point, once I got accepted into that high school as a dancer and I was going to get my minor in dance, that was really when it was solidified for me. And then once I got into the program at that school, there wasn't any type of like dance team. And there was like this after school program that was like a hip hop dance team, but it wasn't really a part of the school. And I didn't understand why. and I was just getting into choreographing. And I was like, I'm going to start a hip hop dance team at the school. And I talked to my teachers and talked to like the principal. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm going to do it. Like, and then I did. And I started a team. And then I think that was like the beginning of my choreographing career.
That's amazing for you to just kind of like put your stake in it and say, well, no one else is doing it. So why can't I?
I got a lot of heat from people at that school, like just, girls and stuff that were all like drama, like who's this white girl that's like starting this team and blah, blah. And like people didn't like me because I was white and I was in the school was like primarily black and people of color. And anyways, but once people started to see what I was doing, then I gained the respect. Once they're like, okay, fine. The white girl can dance. Like, okay, she can do it. And it was over from there.
That's amazing. That's a great story. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I forget. It's so funny. Like, I really these aren't things that I think about all the time. So I'm like, that's so funny. Like, that's really like, that's what happened. I'm even like, whoa, that's kind of crazy.
So then after high school, you went to college and you majored in dance, or what was the journey after high school?
So during my senior year of high school is when I started to build my hip hop dance studio. So I literally, and we didn't have, there was nothing like what I was creating, because my studio, like I said, it was a hip hop dance studio. It wasn't just a dance studio. So, but what I mean when I say that is that we taught crump, we taught locking, we taught popping, we taught contemporary hip hop, we taught just, hip hop choreography classes. We did breaking. We had even like freestyle classes to help people learn how to freestyle. So at the time, I don't even know if there's even a studio like that to this day, but at the time there was nothing like it. And that's what it was. And I built that. So I was 17. I was 17 when I started to structure that. And then as soon as I graduated, I went and got into Gary Manuel Aveda Institute just to become an esthetician, like as a side job, because I was like, dance might not always pay the bills. Dance might not always be what's going to, get me comfortability, what's going to give me a cushion when I grow up. So I was like, I'm going to not only crazy, Cierra. Not only am I going to open a dance studio before even graduating high school, but I'm also going to go to a vocational college and get my license as an esthetician. So I did both. My days after I graduated high school and once my studio was open was I would wake up at 5 a.m. I would take a bus to the train station and then train station up to Seattle. And then I would bus from downtown Seattle to Capitol Hill to get to school every day. And I did that for a whole year. Monday through Friday. And after school, I would do the same thing to get back home. And then I would get in my car to drive 30 minutes south where my studio was. And I would teach classes and I would run a studio.
I mean, that's the hustle and grind of like trying to do it all, right? Were there ever times where you were like, what am I doing? And can I do this?
No. No. I mean, for me, there was no option. Like I loved what I was doing. I loved waking up early. I loved, being in the city and being alone and being solo and being, just being on my own, like getting myself to places, coming back, going, just the hustle. Like I loved that. I still do. That's what gets me through. So, no, I never once doubted myself. Ever. I just it felt good. I was passionate about it. Like, what's there to doubt? I'm happy. Keep going.
I love that. That's a great lesson for our listeners. Just the drive and really letting your passion drive, what you're doing, drive your actions. Because I think we live in a world today. This was back in the day. You were only 17 at the time. So
yeah, this was 2010. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, 2010 was a much different time for us. We didn't have
absolutely
all the opportunities that we have now. Right. And I think it's more clear to us that we can do things and we can pursue our passion. But man, that is the lesson right there, Cierra.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because again, I don't look at things like, oh, this is going to be a good lesson for other people, or these people need to hear this. Like, my life is my life. And if people know about it, they know about it. And if they don't, they don't. Like, I've never put myself out there and talked about who I am, honestly, like this. I don't feel a need to. It's only happening right now because God just happened to place something in my lap and it ended up bringing me lots of opportunities. And this is one of those opportunities, I guess, having the chance to publicly speak about, who I am and how I got to where I am today. It's definitely not something that I talk about ever, really. So
we really appreciate you opening up to us. And, since we're kind of reflecting on your dance journey thus far, what would you tell Cierra back then? The Cierra that was hustling, 10 years ago, doing it all. If you could give her one piece of advice.
Don't involve your boyfriend in your endeavors.
The truth.
I am speaking my truth. Let me tell you, honestly, because gosh, I'm the guy that I was with at that time. I was with him for 3 years and he was older than me too. We had a pretty big age gap. But he was involved in my endeavors and he was definitely no help in those endeavors at most of the time. So I'll just leave it at that. Don't go into business with your boyfriend. You can do it on your own. You don't need no man. Yeah, that's honestly that's the truth. I don't regret a single thing I did. Those times were the most beautiful times of my career because I had brought together a community that had nothing. I brought together people who didn't have a place to go. I was able to give people opportunities that they had never had. I was able to give a safe space for people to come and release and take class. And we just didn't have that over here. We just didn't. So it was one of my favorite moments in my whole career and my whole life was building that studio. So
that's an incredible accomplishment. Definitely something to be proud of.
Yeah.
So talk to us about life after the studio. What happened in your career after that?
I had my studio for about 3 years. 3.5 years. We had 3 different locations. That's how I know. That's how I remember. Because every time our lease was up, we moved to a different location. I had gotten involved with somebody, again, don't involve your man. Like, it just like creates a bunch of crap, I was involved with somebody at the time who had, I want to say his name, but I also don't. I had gotten involved with somebody and we were doing YouTube stuff together. Like I started a YouTube channel. He was actually the one to motivate me, to inspire me to do my YouTube channel. My first video that I put up was The Weekend. It's called The Morning by The Weekend, and it blew up. It blew up, and at that time, right? When things weren't really blowing up very often. It blew up, and that's when I started to make a name for myself as a choreographer on a more national level. I got connected with IME at the time. They were really big doing America's Best Dance Crew, and they had reached out to me. And they were just like, hey, we want to work with you, or like come hang out, or like I don't know, like I don't remember details. I just remember like somebody from that team reaching out to me. I want to say it was Emilio. Emilio had reached out to me, and he was like, yeah, come to LA, and went to LA, hung out with him, Yaya, Philip, Moon, Brandon, hung out at their house for I think a week. And I want to say in that time frame, I got a phone call or something, an opportunity to go to Houston, Texas, and teach at the So Real studio. And So Real at the time was also doing America's Best Dance Crew, and amongst other things. So their name was very big at the time. And so when they gave me the opportunity, me and the person that I was with, the opportunity to come teach down there, I was stoked. I was like, holy crap. Like, you got to remember, at the time, this was major. Like, So Real was asking me, like Cierra from little old Tacoma, Washington, like, to come to, move to Houston and teach at their studio. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah. Like, and you got to remember, I'm like 20 years old at the time. I had my studio for 3 years. And when I reflected on making that decision, like, am I going to leave the studio behind? In the moment, it was the right decision for me. I felt like, I had that one single thought go through my mind of, maybe I am too young to have a business tie me down to this location. And so long story short, what I ended up doing was, one of my mentors, I gave her my studio as a thank you. That's what I did. And of course they were all very happy for me. They were all like, there was not part of me that felt bad for my decision, because everybody had supported me, because again, this was a big deal. That was the big deal. And I basically, it's such a long story. So I'll try to keep it short. We packed across country. We left Washington and drove. On the way there, the person that I was with had actually fallen asleep at the wheel, and we got in a major car accident. He overcorrected to the left, to the right, overcorrected again. Mind you, we were driving down middle of nowhere in Nevada. It was December at this point in time, so it was freezing cold. There was nobody on the road. So basically, we ended up tumbling down the freeway because it was icy. And then it was the car was flipped, and we were skidding down for probably about a half mile upside down. And I remember everything very, very vividly. I even had my dog with me at the time. And I just remember like, you know, when people say like, when they have near-death experiences, you know, that happened to me. It happened. I thought the truck was going to blow up. I was just like, this is it. Like, I'm done. And I just felt like we were going upside down forever. And I just remember thinking like, you know, I said my piece. Like I was like, this is it. Especially when I had that flash, you know, I was like, I really thought that was done. And then I just remember we stopped and I punched out the window was already shattered. The truck was already like squished. But I just remember getting out so fast. I punched out all the rest of the glass and I tried to wiggle myself out of there as quick as I could because I really did think that we were done. And I thought that the truck was going to catch on fire because, you know, car, gas, smoke, you know, right, just naturally. And he wasn't getting out of the car, the person I was with. And then he finally got out of the car. My dog got out of the car. The dog's fine, by the way. The dog still living today. It's actually my dad's dog now. A lot of people will probably ask, well, what happened to the dog? The dog's fine. And then basically, long story short, I mean, we sat there on opposite sides of the road in the freezing cold for a good 10 minutes, just staring at each other in shock. Our stuff was scattered all over the road for about a quarter mile behind us, just in sight. Nobody else was involved. It was just us. But eventually, you know, I want to say we were probably at the scene for about maybe don't know where we were, because we had no service, no nothing. So like we have to wait for somebody to just like come by. The first semi truck stopped, nothing. They didn't even get satellite service with where they were. And then a second truck stopped, and then they had good satellite service, and then that's when we got help. But even then, again, like it took hours for us to even get any type of help. I was all messed up. He was fine. I was pretty messed up. Yeah. And so basically all of our stuff was pretty much gone. It was messed up. And then my dad told me that I had a half brother, and my half brother lived in Las Vegas. And my half brother came and picked us up, and I met my half brother for the first time. And then we went to Arizona after that. And then, you know, eventually we made our way to Houston. But after that accident, I was done with that person. I was done. And I wanted out because the whole reason why he fell asleep was stubborn. It was, he literally put my life at risk for his own stubbornness, I guess I should say. He just did not want me to drive for whatever reason. And then we almost died. So for me, that was it. I was like, I'm not going to be with somebody who's like this. This is ridiculous. And so a lot of things ended up happening when we got to Houston that were unhealthy, and basically So Real had dismissed me because of things that he was going into the studio and saying to try to get me removed. So I had left everything, my family, my friends, my studio, everything that I had for this opportunity. And the people who run that place, they were just like, we don't want her anymore. And I feel like they never wanted me, that they only really wanted him. And that took me down a pretty harsh path mentally. to know that I was never good enough for them. But, you know, by the grace of God, Moon, he came into Houston, and Moon and I met up for dinner, and I explained to him what happened. And he was just as shocked as, you know, anybody that would listen to the story. And he introduced me to the owners of Soundbox Studios in Houston. And boy, was that the best decision. Boy, was that the best thing that had came from started to be at Soundbox. That is when my career launched forward even more. And I'm so grateful. All that crap that happened, all those terrible things that happened leading up to, you know, me contemplating, am I going to go back home? Am I, like, is this a sign? Like, even after the accident, I was like, I could turn around and go home now. I could go back. I can bring this. I can go back to the studio. It's not too late, you know. Like, why not? Like, this is already messed up to me. But I didn't. There was just something telling me to keep going, even after the accident. You know, like, even after the accident, there was still something telling me to go to Houston. Go to Houston, and Soundbox was the blessing. Soundbox was the blessing because they gave me an opportunity to teach. They gave me an opportunity to direct. They gave me an opportunity to choreograph for all their competing teams. And I made even more of a name for myself by doing those things. And then when I got to Houston and I got more established in Houston, then I started to get more established internationally. And then I started to get booked to teach master classes and workshops and all these, like, that's literally where it launched for me. You know, like I said, I started my YouTube channel. That was like the first thing for me that really blew me up like on a national level. But then as soon as I started to, you know, have years of doing that under my belt, like building subscribers and all that thing, and then the Houston thing happened, and then Soundbox happened, and, you know, everything just came together. And then I joined the Architects with the Buchanan brothers and Puspos and all those people. Like, it was just like, it just propelled. That should also be a lesson for people in general. Just because you got some bumps in the road does not mean that you ever give up on your passion. Just because, you know, bad things happen does not mean that you need to quit. It does not mean that you need to remove yourself. If anything, use that to propel you forward. Understand that through every dark tunnel is a light. And yeah, you're not going to see it in the moment, and it's going to be really, really crappy. But eventually you'll get there. But you have to have faith, and you have to be strong, and you have to be vigilant. You have to be. So yeah, I don't even know where the question was at this point. I think I just went on a rant.
No, that's so great though, Cierra. I mean, it's like the saying goes, and I'm going to butcher it. I think I've tried to say it once before, but it's, you know, the saying is like, you know, there aren't bumps in the road. That is the road. The road is going to be bumpy, and you should expect for it to be bumpy. But if you can overcome it, like you said, through your hard work and your vigilance, then, you know, you'll be better off because you will go in with those expectations already, as opposed to being thrown off by those bumps. So I think that's a really beautiful takeaway, is to remember that, you know, your road is never going to be straight and narrow. The road has bumps.
And honestly, if it's not, what are you learning? What are you learning from perfection? What are you learning from a straight road? If you don't have the bumps, then how are you ever going to grow? So my bumps in my road of my life have been tremendous. but that's what makes me tremendous. That's what makes me who I am. So I'm grateful for all those terrible things that have happened to me. Do I regret them? Absolutely not. What made me who I am today? And I love that. And I embrace that, the good and the bad. So
Cierra, I think, going back to what we were talking about before we switched locations, I just want to reiterate to our listeners what an important lesson is that you just said is really just to keep moving forward. We were talking about the road being bumpy, but that is the road. And you brought up a great point about it just being like, you're not going to learn anything if the road is straight and narrow. No. You got to learn from those bumps and those obstacles.
Yeah, I mean, right. And it's just like dance. If you go into a class and you take a class that you're comfortable in, and you take a class from a choreographer that you like to take class from all the time, and you're not taking anybody else's class, what do you learn from killing it and getting select groups every single time? That you're great. Love it. I am so happy for you. Genuinely, that's great. Confidence booster, right? You need that, especially in this industry. You need that. But to take a class that you're going to kill every time, what's the point? What do you learn from doing good every single time? Not really that much, but you'll learn a lot more if you challenge yourself and get yourself in a class that you're not going to be comfortable in, a class where you're not going to get selects, a class where you're going to want to feel like you want to walk out or go hide in the back. Those are the times when you actually learn something. So it's the same thing in class, in life. You learn nothing until you fail.
Ooh, we got to play it back for our listeners. Listeners, go back, hit rewind, listen to that little segment again, because it's so true. And I really appreciate you bringing it up. And before we move any further, I just kind of want to circle back and say, like, we're so grateful that you're here. Like, you're here, and you've obviously taken that and ran with it and done some incredible work since then. So I think we kind of want to segue into what you're doing now and what it means to you to be doing something like this.
In regards to the organization?
Yes, you have a new organization, Speak Your Truth Worldwide.
Yeah. So basically how that all kind of came about was just how everything else in my life has came about. Very natural, nothing forced. I literally will, I've told my story many times, but I really did wake up one day and God just said, today's the day. You're going to talk about your experience on AOV and, you're just going to do it. And I messaged a group of friends and my friend Lexi, who is the co-founder now of Speak Your Truth. She was the one that said, okay, I'm going to do it with you. And that is exactly why she is the co-founder of my organization, because if it wasn't for her saying, I'm going to do this with you, I'll go on the live with you, I don't think I would have ever done it. I really don't, because I was so scared of what could happen, especially with the seriousness of CJ and his violent acts and what he's done to other people, what he has a history of doing, and what he's done to me already. So, it was very nerve-wracking for me to do that. But I did it, and I don't regret it, and I will never regret it, because I was able to, and I will continue to be able to heal hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people. People don't realize that there were thousands of dancers that were on AOV off and on. There were like, I swear to God that I feel every other person in the dance community, in the California dance community, has tried out for AOV. Like somebody, you know, has tried out for AOV and they were like, hell no, I am not doing that. Like I already know, like I didn't know that from the outside, but once I moved to LA and then I got to know people and, you know, heard all these other people's stories, like, yeah, I was like, you know, thousands of people have been on that team, thousands. And a lot of people were damaged from that team and severely damaged. People that have quit dance, people who have clinical depression, people who have clinical mental health issues from what they experienced on that team. And by me going up on my platform has helped people like that heal more than they've ever been able to heal in their life. And they've been put on medications to help them cope with their day-to-day life. And all I had to do was open my mouth and go on my platform and simply speak out to my followers at the time about my experience, speaking my truth. Like, I'll do that. And that's what has propelled me to want to continue to do that, because the more, if I can do that, if we got everybody else to speak out, to speak their truth about their experiences, how many people are they going to be able to heal? How many people are they going to heal that are also going to encourage them to speak out on their platform and talk about their experiences? Okay, then that's you get what I'm saying? It's a spider web effect. Why wouldn't I want to implement real world positive change? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, my organization has started from that, again, naturally, organically. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization that consists of dancers and mental health advocates. We're committed to raising awareness, past and present, to address issues that have been affecting dancers and artists within the dance industry for a long, long, long time. It is a deep-rooted issue that no one has been talking about. And if they have been talking about it, they haven't been talking enough about it because it's still happening. And look, you know, in a perfect world, is it ever going to actually stop? I don't know. But that's going to be the goal. And I'm not going to stop until that happens. And, you know, a lot of people can tell me like, well, that's never going to happen. Well, okay, I'm going to do this till I die. That's it. Okay. So you think it's never going to stop? Okay. Be here till I'm dead. Like I'm not giving up. I have decided to commit myself to this journey. You know, and especially for me, I don't have anything to lose. I got diagnosed with cancer 2.5 years ago, and I've been fighting for my life. I've been fighting for my life for the past 2.5 years. I have nothing to lose. And if anything, me getting diagnosed with a serious illness like that, where I have to face death on a regular basis, I mean, this is what I want to be remembered for. If I were to die tomorrow, good. Then at least I have this. At least I have my story out there. At least people know what I have started. And for me, that is the drive. Not only do I hear stories every other day about people in our community that are hurting, that have quit, that are clinically depressed, has something very wrong with them. Those people motivate me to keep going, but I've also motivated myself because you can't stop me. Like, I have beat cancer. I'm in remission now. Like, you can't prevent me from doing anything that I want to do. And this is something that I want to do because I see the good in this. I see the positive change, and God has chosen me. So here we go, going along, just whatever I can do. I'm not a professional at this. I'm learning. This is a huge growing pain for me because I'm going to mess up a lot. I've already messed up. But guess what? Again, if I don't mess up, how do I grow? How do I be better? And that's why, a lot of the times I ask people publicly to hold me accountable because I'm going to mess up. I need to learn. I want to know if I'm doing something wrong. If I do something that rubs you the wrong way, please let me know, because guess what? I can learn from that. And in this work, where perfection does not exist for me, perfection will never exist, but I will be as perfect as I can for the people that need me the most, because that's what I've committed to, and that's what I want to do. So we understand what it feels like to be turned away and feel like you have no one to go to once you've fallen victim to abuse, whether it be from your peers or someone who is in a position of power in an industry you're passionate about. Like, we know it can be hard to share these traumatic experiences. Because we've been through it. Everybody who is a part of my team has either is a dancer or is a former dancer, and they've had a traumatic experience happen to them. So we get it. We hear you. We believe you. We support you. We are here to give you an open platform so that you can have the option to speak your truth. And most importantly, begin your healing process. Begin your healing process because you deserve it. Know that when you come forward, you have the option to remain anonymous. You are in control of your story, whether it be from, maybe you just want somebody to talk to. Maybe you just want to use us as what I like to call a dead-end friend, somebody who doesn't have connections to anyone else in your life, someone that you just want to go to release, get it off of your chest. Don't hold on to this weight anymore. Talk to somebody, and get what better people to talk to than people who have been through it and are a part of the dance community, right? So, whether they want to just do that, come forward and report it, we can leave it at that if that's what they want. But a lot of people also might want therapy. Guess what? Therapy, it's expensive. Do you think dancers have that kind of money? Ha, 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 ha. Think again. No, they don't. Absolutely not. And that's where I saw a need. I want my nonprofit to, on top of everything else that we're trying to do, we want to offer free therapy to anybody who comes forward, because look, we can't all handle all this madness that's going on. We need professional help. And yeah, I am part of the stirrup. By me using my voice, by me raising awareness to these issues, it's going to stir some people up, and it's going to stir you up mentally. But guess what? Not only do you, some people think it's a problem, right? That's some people's opinions is that, well, when you're using your platform and talking to thousands of people about your experience, that also means that you don't really know who you're going to be talking to or how that will affect them. Okay, I can't please everybody. So what I will do is offer anybody who is a part of the dance community free or affordable therapy. Because if that's what the solution to the problem is, why wouldn't I want to provide that solution? So again, they can come forward, speak to us directly. We can offer them free therapy, that's what we've been doing. We've had several dancers come forward that need that help. And we're giving it to them. And we're putting them on the right track to not only begin their healing process by coming forward and speaking their truth, but we're also going to point you in the right direction of what does that look like to continue your healing process. We are not medical professionals. We are not therapists. Cierra is not. Cierra is just the one who sees the need and is trying to create a solution. And this is the best I can do right now. So if it's not any of those two things, well, a lot of people also find a lot of healing in coming onto a platform and speaking their truth publicly, which is why I've decided to start a podcast that is called Unscripted, where people from the dance community and really the whole entertainment industry as a whole can come forward and talk about their experiences on a public platform. And we do have a legal team who will help me advise these people to come forward. So yeah, it's a big concern. People are like, well, what if I want to press charges down the road? What if they do, what is the situation? Because look, not everybody's situation is the same, and it cannot be handled the same. It is very difficult, actually, when you run into these things. People think that everyone's experiences can be handled the same, and they can't, because everyone's experience is different. So we handle each case on a case-by-case basis. We're not going to treat everybody the same. It's not the same protocol for everybody. It's just not. So for some people, them coming onto a podcast and speaking their truth is absolutely 150% legal, and it is 150% okay for them to do that. There are some situations where you can't do that. And guess what? I am not going to let you come onto my podcast if I think it's going to put you at risk. No, ma'am. No way. I don't want to lose credibility in any of this work, the good work, the positive work that I am trying to do. And will that happen?
I think the important message here, I got a lot from what you said, but I think my biggest takeaway is people that are looking to really start that healing process should really be your only primary motivation. I mean, you came out with, like you said, zero intent to, harm anyone or, speak ill of anyone. You just woke up one morning and you said that God spoke to you, and that was probably God telling you that it was time for you to initiate your healing process. And I think that that's really beautiful, because I think that we tend to get caught up in our minds and our thoughts, and then the fear starts to kick in. And then we're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't talk about it. And then it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And then it starts to build up. And I think it's really important what Cierra said. And that is, if you are ready to start healing, then that should be your only motivation is that you want to start your healing process.
Right. Because, this can easily, and it already has, especially when this first started, get confused with cancel culture. That is what we're not. This is so much deeper than cancel culture. We are talking about real people's trauma, real people's lives, real people's careers. I am not going to mess with that. My organization, I am not going to mess with that. My intentions in this are pure. My intentions in this are positive. My intentions with this are not ill-minded. I do not want to cancel anybody. I had no problem with CJ Salvador. I had no problem with Antoine True. No problem with these people. But you know what? If you're doing something that's messed up, you're going to get called out for it, and rightfully so, because there's something that you did that is hurting people, and it's hurting a lot of people. And even if it's not just a lot of people, even if it's just one single person, guess what? That person deserves to heal. That person deserves to move forward. That person deserves to be put back in dance. That person deserves to be happy. And if you can't stand that, well, then go somewhere else. We don't want you here. This is not what the dance community is about. At least the dance community that I grew up in. It's about love. It's about having fun. It is about a passion. It is about being a part of a community that is bigger than just you. And if you can't respect that, get the hell out. Get out. Get in or you get out. Because if you aren't able to love all, if you aren't able to respect all, if you can't do those two simple things, why are you here? Why are you here? And why are we as a community going to accept that? When do we as the community say enough is enough, and we are now going to implement standards? I'm not talking about laws. I'm not talking about rules. I am talking about simple standards. Your dance studio, it needs an HR department. Your heels classes, it needs to be 18 and up. Your dance conventions, the students and the teachers going up to the hotel rooms and having after parties, that's done. Because it's creating havoc. It is creating trauma. It is creating instances that adolescent minds are not prepared for. So we need to start implementing standards. Did I just go on a rant? I don't know.
I loved it though, Cierra, and I think Devin will agree with me. I think the biggest takeaway there is that we as a dance community can no longer accept this type of behavior, and that is what is going to propel change. We have gone so long accepting it and letting it fly under the radar, and that is why it has continued the way that it has for this long.
We're all guilty of it. We are all guilty of sweeping it under the rug. And I say all, or when I say all, I mean leaders, teachers, directors, studio owners. We are all guilty of sweeping this behavior under the rug. And it is not about feeling guilty for what you have done, because guilt will get us nowhere. It is about identifying your ego, setting it aside, and saying, I have messed up. I've made mistakes. I am not perfect, because look, perfection does not exist. Not in this realm, not on this earth, maybe in a different one, but not this one. And if you think that perfection is what is going to propel us forward, it's no longer going to do that, because we are at a standstill. We have had enough. And when I say we, I mean the dancers that have poured their heart and their souls. They have given everything. They have struggled, and they got nothing but disrespect, and to get sent home to say you are not good enough. Done. Because no one's going to tell me that I'm not good enough. I will say that. Anyways, I'm going on a rant. Stop me.
Cierra cannot be stopped, and I don't think we want to stop you.
That's funny.
Cierra, I would be interested to hear, though, for aspiring dancers outside looking in, seeing these reports of abuse, or even dancers that are maybe thinking about taking it to the next level professionally, but are now feeling uncertain and scared, what would you say to them? What words of encouragement would you provide? Giving them that reassurance that we are moving towards a safer community.
There's no reason to be scared if you are informed. If we continue to raise awareness, what's there to be scared of? If you know the signs, if you know that there is something, a nonprofit that is specifically serving the dance community to keep it safe, why are you scared? Don't be. Let me handle that. Let my organization handle that. If you see something that you're like, I don't really know about that looks a little weird, I feel uncomfortable, even if it's not directly happening to you, you come to us. Let us handle it. And no, again, just because you report it does not mean we're going to publicly put it out there. Let us do the work. Let us do the investigating. Let us handle it. And if at any point you feel uncomfortable and you want us to stop handling it, that's fine. We don't need to handle it anymore. If it has happened to you, if there is something that has happened to you, if you have been abused, mistreated in any way, shape, or form, you come to us. You let us handle that. You do not have to be scared, because Speak Your Truth worldwide exists now. And we will hold these people accountable. You do not have to. So that's what I would say. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't let all the crappy crap that's been going on, that's been being exposed and put out there, don't let that stop you from being passionate about something that you have been gifted. What? Heck no. You keep going. And if anything like that happens to you, you let us know. Like you said, you can't stop Cierra. You really can't. Like I said, I've dedicated my life to this. So good luck to anybody who wants to try to stop me.
Where can people find more info about Speak Your Truth Worldwide?
Right now on Instagram is going to be our main platform that we're using. It is SYT Worldwide, just how it's spelled on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, Speak Your Truth Worldwide. And then we will also be continuing the stories and raising awareness on our podcast, Unscripted.
Oh, that's incredible work. I mean, I just, on behalf of, my sister and the community here in San Diego, thank you for doing this. Just thank you for existing. Really, you're a beautiful soul and a beautiful person. And man, I wish
Don't thank me. Thank the universe. Thank whoever's upstairs, man. I mean, they've put me on the path that I'm on right now. And, that's, I'm just doing what's being called on me to do. So
I love that. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to switch gears here. We're going to do something fun that we do on our podcast, and it's our rapid fire. And it's just an opportunity for our listeners to get to know a little bit more about you, Cierra. We have a series of questions. I'm going to set a timer for about 45 seconds. And then I'm going to read off the questions. The idea is to get through as many as you can as quickly as you can.
Oh my gosh, okay.
It'll be fun, I promise. No pressure.
Okay, all right.
All right, and go.
Would you rather live in the ocean or on the moon?
Ocean.
Student or teacher?
Teacher.
Walk on the beach or hike on a trail?
Beach.
Choreo or freestyle?
Freestyle.
Favorite food?
Chicken.
If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Oh, Bora Bora.
One word to describe your dance style.
Hard hitting.
If you could write a book, what would it be about?
My life.
What's your dream job?
I'm in it.
Favorite song?
Gosh, that's a terrible. Favorite artist, Drake.
Time.
I have to go back to one of your responses, chicken. Is there a specific way that you like your chicken prepared?
Fried. I'm a fried chicken girl all the way. Honestly, up until I got cancer, I ate it every single day. So now I just indulge what I can.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Have you ever been to Bora Bora?
No, but that's the honeymoon spot for sure.
Oh my gosh.
And if it's not a honeymoon spot, it's Sierra's going alone, and she's gonna live her life for like a month and forget everything else exists.
All right. Well, so here, I'm going to make a proposal to you, Cierra. Okay. After you've done the work for Speak Your Truth Worldwide, you're going to take a break. You're going to go to Bora Bora and you're going to write a book about your life. And Devin and I will be the first people to buy it.
Don't tempt me with a good time. That's all I got to say to that. That's hilarious. I'd love it.
Is there anything in particular that you know already you would want to see or do in Bora Bora?
Just be in the water, float, swim. That's all. That's it. I just want to be in the water, and that's the whole branding behind Speak Your Truth, is the ocean. And our logo is actually the throat chakra, which the throat chakra is all about using your voice. It's about the power of your voice. So the branding behind Speak Your Truth is very personal for me. When I go into the ocean, I feel like the ocean specifically, not a lake, not anything else, the ocean. Any ocean that I'm in, any large body of water that I'm in that connects to another foreign land. When I put my feet into the water of an ocean, I feel connected to the entire world, to all types of people, to, everything. That to know that my feet are in the same water as somebody else who might be going through something bad, who might be going through something good, who might not speak my language, who might not know what America is like, who might not have the same opportunities that I have. I think about that, and I think about how that makes me feel whole and connected to people and to humanity. And Speak Your Truth is all about helping people all over the world in any way, shape, form that they can when it comes to raising awareness to the abuse that's going on within our dance community and our dance industry. And with the throat chakra, again, speak your truth, use your voice. You have something powerful right here, and it costs you nothing. Use it. You can create change. You can create waves. You can create nonprofits and heal millions of people in the future by using this one thing that you were born with. And it costs you nothing. Do it. Use it. And don't ever give up on what your power is, what your truth is.
That's so powerful, Cierra. I think when you put it in that context, you have your voice. Why not use it? And it's, like you said, it's free.
God gave it to you.
Yes.
The universe gave it to you for free. For free. Come on. We like free, especially in the pandemic 2020. We like free. Use it. Use it. It's powerful. You can create many things for yourself. And even if it's just healing, even if it's just for one person, even if it's just for you, why not do it? Why not use it? It makes no sense to me. No sense. Use it. You got it. You use it. And everybody does. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. You have a voice and you use it. And look at what's happening, now with everything that's going on in the election, right? I mean, the last time I checked, Biden was up, right? that's it. That's change in the right direction because people are seeing like, oh crap, like I have something and it matters. The whole world is in a shift right now and everybody's waking up. And I'm just here to show people how powerful it is, which is why I say I am just, don't thank me, you thank him, you thank the universe, because I am just calling, or he is calling and I am answering, excuse me.
Well, thank you, God, and thank you, universe, for bringing us Cierra Lauren. Like, let me just say.
Traditionally, at the end of each episode, Cierra, we ask each of our guests, what's good in the dance community right now? And I think it's obvious after talking to you. You're what's good in the dance community right now. Speak Your Truth Worldwide is what's good in the dance community right now. But I'd love to hear your opinion.
What do I think is good in the dance community? The people. And you know what? Yeah, we have some crappy ones. But let's not focus on the crappy ones. Let's focus on all the good people that there are. And it's not just me. There's other people that are choosing to stand up and speak out and stand up for what's right. Standing up for what's right. There's a lot of people doing that. Focus on those people. Focus on the good that is still around you. But for me, it's the people that make it good. So that's going to be my answer to that. Not anything else. It's the people. It's the heart. It's the soul. The people. Absolutely.
That's the best answer I think anyone has ever given.
I am winning over here. Look at this.
No offense to any of our other previous guests, but man,
Sure,
it's true. It's true because without the people, we wouldn't have as beautiful a dance community as we do.
Without the people, we would have nothing. The people are the heart and the soul. If we don't have the people and if we don't have the good people, where are we going? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Well, thank you so much, Cierra. It has been a privilege. It's been an honor. I know you said not to thank you, to thank the Lord above, but my goodness, I feel so grateful to know you. And I know Devin does too, to have this opportunity to talk to you and just to listen about your Speak Your Truth Worldwide organization. I think it is absolutely incredible and powerful. And thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. And, you know, we're working on a lot of things. Speak Your Truth is working on a lot of things. So, you know, just be prepared. Let's be prepared for what's to come. And it's going to be a lot of good. You just got to give us some time. Give us some time and we're going to get to some great places. So I'm excited for the future of our dance community for sure.
We're excited too. Thank you so much again, Cierra. And we'll be sure to put links to Speak Your Truth Worldwide and also Cierra's personal links in our show notes so you guys can stay connected.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to our season finale with Cierra. I mean, what an amazing conversation, right?
So great. She just had so many great things to say. And, you know, I love that she was so candid about sharing her thoughts about the community. So I really appreciated that.
I think with all of the things that she's doing and all of our other guests, it really gives me hope for what's to come in 2021. I know that 2020 was such a weird year for all of us, but you know, we can move forward and we will. So we just want to take a moment to thank you for listening to season 2. It's kind of hard to believe that it went by so fast.
So fast. But, you know, they say time flies when you're having fun. And we had a ton of fun this season. And we are so looking forward to being back with you for next season, season 3, which will be launching December 30th.
So again, we just want to say thank you so much for listening in on season 2. We hope you enjoyed it and we want to wish you happy holidays. We'll see you right before the new year again on December 30th.
Please don't bring your friends.
Thank you so much for listening to the Collab podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, please show your support by leaving a review on iTunes.
And be sure to subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts.
The conversation continues over on Instagram and YouTube with highlights from today's episode.
When you on the way, make that